Fire at Yongju Coal Company Limited. Video footage of the scene shows that the scene is quite tragic. The fire broke out at around 6:50 a.m. When state media first reported it, 11 people had died. The exact number of casualties is still being counted. 51 people were taken to hospital for treatment. After that, the death toll increased to 25 people. As of 3 p.m. on November 16, the death toll had reached 26 people. It is known that a total of 70 people were evacuated, 63 people were taken to the hospital. Information from chinanews shows that Yongju Coal Company, Limited, Lisher, Shaanxi was established in 2012, and is a member of Dongtai Energy Group, Shaanxi, located in the city Luliang, Shaanxi Province, is an enterprise mainly operating in the field of coal mining and coal washing. The company has a registered capital of 31.51 million yuan, $4.35 million, and currently has 1,227 registered employees. The burned building has 4 floors. Live video shows that when the fire broke out from the second floor of the building and spread upward, emitting a large amount of black smoke. There were continuous fires in the building, accompanied by thick smoke, and there were also explosions coming from the building where the fire occurred, causing many employees to run away in panic. Witnesses said that the fire broke out on the second and third floors, with intense flames shooting out the windows about 1 or 2 meters high. One person who witnessed the fire recounted his experience of rescuing himself. He said the second floor is the bathroom and dressing room. The fire broke out on the second floor. At that time, it was during the time of handing over workers to and from the mine. There were people on duty in the morning and evening shifts. At that time, he was in a meeting on the 4th floor. After the fire broke out, the hallway filled with thick smoke. He used his jacket to cover his mouth and nose, then rushed out of the building. Some people jumped off the building to escape. There is also a video showing that, during the fire, a worker climbed out the window, hugged the pipe tightly, and then crawled down carefully and slowly to survive. Chinanews reported that Mr. Wang, the person in charge of the coal mine where the incident occurred, said that the general building is a reinforced concrete frame structure, including a bathroom, changing room, coordination room, and laundry room, etc. Everything is built together, so it is called a common house. Mr. Wang said that the coal mine where the incident occurred has a history of more than 10 years, is a local medium-sized coal mine, using mechanized operations. As usual, the miners held a pre-shift meeting at the common building at 6 a.m. The press reported that the fire accident occurred at around 6:50 a.m. He speculated that at this time, workers were starting to change clothes in the locker room and prepare to work in the mine. Mr. Wang also said that according to his understanding, the location of the fire was the employee's restroom was very strange. Besides the workers' clothes in the changing room, what else is flammable? The cause of the fire is unknown at this time. Hospital fire in Beijing. Li Zongrong, deputy mayor of Beijing's Fengtai district, expressed deep condolences when announcing the number of casualties at a press conference. 29 people died, including 16 women and 13 men. 26 of those who died were hospital patients, and the fire occurred in a building for critically ill patients. An investigation is underway, state media reported. Emergency response teams first received word shortly before 1 p.m. on April 18 that a fire had broken out at Changfeng Hospital in Beijing's Fengtai district, according to the Communist Party-run Beijing Daily said. The fire was extinguished about half an hour later and rescue efforts continued for another 2 hours, by which time 71 patients had been evacuated. On Tuesday, videos circulating on social media showed people climbing through hospital windows and sitting on air conditioning units outside, while others clung to ropes and jumped out of the building. The videos could not be independently verified, but AFP geolocated the building in footage to the hospital. There were no further details on the number of people injured in the fire or the condition of the victims. The city's top officials went to the hospital immediately after the fire, with Beijing Party Secretary Yin Li vowing to quickly determine the cause of the accident and hold those responsible accountable, according to Beijing Daily. It is unclear whether all the hospital's occupants have been found and evacuated from the fire in the east building of the private hospital's inpatient department. The deaths were confirmed after the victims were taken to another unidentified hospital for emergency treatment, Beijing Daily said. Many family members have lost contact with the patient, with the missing mostly being elderly people with mobility problems, China Youth Daily said in a separate report on Wednesday. A police officer at the scene on Wednesday told AFP that the city will probably make appropriate arrangements to care for the victims' relatives. Beijing Changfeng Hospital is located in the western urban area of the capital, about 25 minutes by car from Tiananmen Square. Deadly fires are common in China due to weak safety standards and lax enforcement. 10 people died in an apartment complex fire in northwestern Xinjiang in November, sparking protests against COVID-19 lockdowns that were seen as hindering rescue efforts. And 38 people died in a fire at a factory in central China, also in November, which authorities blamed on illegal welding workers. 11 people died in a fire at a factory in Wui, Zhejiang province. According to news from CCTV, at 2:04 p.m. on April 17, a fire broke out at the factory of Zhejiang Weijiali Industry and Trade Company, Limited at Phoenix Mountain Industrial Park, Chuanxi Town, Zhejiang province. Some people were trapped on the third floor. Fire, emergency, public security, health and other provincial, city and county departments quickly arrived on the scene for emergency response and rescue. As of 4 a.m. on April 18, search and rescue work had been completed in 2 phases, and 11 victims were found. The cause of the fire is under investigation. The location of the fire was a local wooden door factory. Initially, the fire was determined to be wooden doors, paint, packaging. The fire broke out during the company's working hours. Many workers lost contact. The fire rescue team said that the fire at the scene was extinguished early in the morning of April 18. Difficulties in search and rescue work have 2 main aspects. One is that the steel structure factory has been exposed to fire radiation for a long time and is in danger of collapsing. Second, there was a little paint and other substances at the scene. It is unclear whether there are toxic substances inside or not. Currently, the police have arrested those responsible for the fire, and work to deal with the consequences and other work is underway. Local emergency room staff also said that as of 8:50 a.m. on April 18, no new victims had yet been found. On April 18, Inner Mongolia Morning News reported that Ms. Lam, the owner of the burned factory in Wui, Zhejiang, said that the factory was put into use after reconstruction last year, and the victims are the tenants. She said, "I stopped production 4 years ago, and rented the factory to other factories to produce wooden doors." A fire broke out in a park in Yunnan. According to news from Jimu News on April 18, on the afternoon of April 17, a mountain fire broke out in the Tengchong Volcanic Area National Geological Park in Yunnan province. The fire was extinguished that night. On April 18, staff were still handling isolated lumps of coal at the scene. There were no injuries and the cause of the fire remains under investigation. Currently, this scenic area has announced that it will temporarily suspend business for a week and conduct equipment maintenance. Online video shows the scene covered in thick smoke. The fire is still spreading to the top of the mountain, black smoke billowing with the wind straight into the sky. On April 17, according to news from Sina.com, on the evening of April 16, many netizens also shared information that a fire broke out at the terminal of Hangzhou Shaoshan Airport. Thick smoke appears near Island H on the departure floor of Terminal T3. Cause of the incident is under investigation. Fires still occur frequently in China. All entities in the infrastructure are subject to fire, from high-speed train stations, factories, workshops, buildings, slums. Before Mr. Xi Jinping ascended to China's highest position and implemented an anti-corruption campaign, most fires were caused by establishments applying very low fire prevention standards or not applying standards at all. Second is the problem of people operating in infrastructure and not paying attention to incidents and accidents. Every time an incident or accident occurs, the consequences are always huge. The application of fire prevention and fighting standards is also completely similar to all standards of safety, hygiene, living standards, security, and all social aspects. All of those standards are similar and fully reflect Chinese social culture, and the moral standards of society also correspond to that. After Mr. Xi Jinping and his faction carried out the campaign to exterminate tigers and flies, there were a few more causes of fires and explosions in China. Fire to get insurance, fire when the company can no longer stand, fire to destroy evidence, fire to destroy the assassination arrangement facility, or it can wipe out traces of a program that the public does not want to know about. Arrive. Special programs such as the construction of a P4 standard biological laboratory in Wuhan are completely unknown to the public. And if this laboratory were to be burned or destroyed, it would be completely natural in a country under CCP rule. In the next video, we'll suggest some ways to minimize risk when you're operating in China. Please look forward to it. Thank you.
Don't forget to comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. Make sure to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from Understand China, and thank you for tuning in.